On Ukraine's eastern front, the skies are no longer silent, and the sharp drone of FPV drones signals that the hunt has begun. Ukraine's 46th Airborne Division once again demonstrated how modern warfare is fought: fast, precise, and merciless, as entire groups of Russian infantry were eliminated one by one in the Pokrovsk area and toward Kupyansk. Footage shows the area around Pokrovsk, where groups of Russian infantrymen attempt to navigate open terrain and the remnants of natural cover. They appear confident of being undetected, moving scattered, using shallow trenches and crevices of the ground as makeshift camouflage. The first footage begins with the detection of a group of Russian infantrymen, the 46th Airborne Division's electronic eyes locked on the enemy's every move. The FPV drones are released one by one. The operators calmly direct their trajectories, waiting for the most vulnerable moment. The first strike hits the center of the group, breaking the formation and causing panic. Russian soldiers scatter, some seeking cover, others fleeing into denser vegetation, and subsequent drones pursue the remaining targets. Every attempt to hide is clearly visible from the air, and one soldier falls at the edge of a trench. Another is hit while running across open ground. After the first attack, Russian infantry movement in this sector comes to a complete halt, and the Pokrovsk area returns to silence, not because it's safe, but because nothing is moving. The second attack shifts toward Kupyansk, an area Russia is still trying to defend with intermittent infantry deployments. From damaged buildings, tree lines, and even gaps in the urban terrain, Russian troops are seen crawling out of every crack, trying to maintain their increasingly fragile position. But just as they emerge, a Ukrainian FPV drone is waiting, detected as it leaves the cover of a building. The drone swoops in low, striking before it can return to cover, its small but deadly explosion signaling the other operators. The footage ends with several drones moving in unison, each selecting a different target. The remaining Russian infantry try to scatter, but there's no safe place. Every moving shadow is immediately followed from the air. The attack was carried out in waves, not mass assaults, but systematic eliminations, eliminating the enemy one by one, cutting off their attempts to defend the entrance to Kupyansk. Now the terrain was deserted. Russia's attempt to defend by numbers turned into a total loss under Ukrainian air control. The Ukrainian 46th Airborne Division had mastered the art of modern hunting. FPV drones were not just weapons, but tools of terrain domination, detecting, pursuing, and eliminating without giving the enemy a chance to adapt. In Pokrovsk and Kupyansk, Russian infantry were not defeated in open combat, but obliterated in the silence of the air, one target after another. The war was no longer about who deployed the most troops, but who saw first and struck first. At the same time, Ukraine halted a Russian breakthrough near Pokrovsk, destroying an assault company, while troops also cleared Ternuvate and Chuhunivka, raising the Ukrainian flag. In the Pokrovsk sector, Ukrainian forces repelled a large-scale Russian breakthrough attempt by mobile assault groups, with 2 days of fierce fighting ending in the complete defeat of Moscow's troops. Ukraine's Joint Forces Group said on Telegram Monday, February 9th, that aerial reconnaissance by the Spartan unit detected Russian movements in time, allowing Ukrainian units to strike and disrupt the offensive. As a result, an entire Russian assault company and military equipment were destroyed. A company in Russia typically ranges from 45 to 360 personnel, depending on unit type, making its loss a significant tactical blow, especially during assault operations. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian serviceman who runs the Telegram channel Military reported on Monday, February 9th, that Russian troops in the Pokrovsk direction are whining about three things that are indicative of the front. In particular, he said Russian forces are suffering heavy losses from frostbite. Logistics are at a minimal level, and the derogatory term for Russians have been sitting in dugouts for weeks. Frequent amputations among the enemy, often without evacuation, he wrote. He added that Russian troops also complain about a lack of body armor, with Ukrainian forces repeatedly observing assaults carried out without protective gear. What the derogatory term for Russians complain about the most is losses. The last Russian reported that out of 40 people in his group, 7 remained alive, Military wrote. He said Russian units are no longer able to conduct assaults as actively as they did 3 months ago, though Ukraine continues to face a critical shortage of personnel. Even with losses on average 1 to 10, the personnel ratio is 1 to 5 to 6. That is, if we have 10 soldiers, they have 60. The Russians really don't pull off such assaults, but unfortunately, we don't have replenishment, especially not any high-quality ones, he wrote. Despite this, Ukrainian forces have achieved tactical successes in recent days, not only repelling attacks, but also regaining control of settlements. Ukraine has cleared the village of Ternuvate in the Zaporizhia region, according to Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation. He posted a video showing Ukrainian soldiers holding the national flag near a village entry sign. Russians sometimes post their so-called victories for an hour. "We are in Ternuvate and doing our job. Ternuvate is ours, Ukrainian," one soldier said in the video, urging Russian troops to surrender. Russian forces had previously claimed to have captured the village in late January. Ukrainian officials later confirmed that a Russian sabotage group had briefly infiltrated Ternuvate under the cover of bad weather. At the time, Ukrainian forces conducted reconnaissance and search operations and cleared the settlement, eliminating one Russian group and taking another prisoner. In a separate operation, Ukrainian troops also expelled Russian forces from Chuhunivka in the Kharkiv region, about 500 meters from the Russian border. To the south of the village lies a gray zone, an area of active fighting with uncertain control, beyond which are Russian-occupied territories. According to the 16th Army Corps, Russian soldiers attempted to slip through Ukrainian defenses during poor weather, but were detected by reconnaissance drones. The Shkval Specialized Rifle Company was deployed to clear the village, with some Russian troops surrendering during the clash. The settlement is under the control of the Defense Forces of Ukraine, the Corps said. About a quarter of frontline clashes are initiated by Ukrainian forces, AFU Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky said last week, adding that Kyiv is actively conducting offensive and counteroffensive operations to keep Russian troops under pressure. In 2025, Ukrainian troops carried out 3 offensive operations, 2 in Russia's Belgorod and Kursk regions, and 1 in the Dobropilya sector, disrupting Moscow's plans to seize Donetsk and establish